right. Test, test, test. What's going on, boys? Just give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and get it on. It is on time. 5 o'clock on the dot. All right, 1 second. 1 second. All right, boys. So I was looking up some information. So I'm just trying to get everything all in order. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to start off with a little bit of LA Capa nonsense that's been going on for a little bit. But before I do that, how's it going, everybody? AJ here. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm just going to go ahead and open up a cold one today. Got plenty of the other. My bad. We got plenty of the other. I'm going to keep it casual today. Sorry if the reverb is going crazy, but I hope you guys are having a really good one because I am. Today is my day off. I'm still recovering from EDC. That's where I was just at about a week and a half ago. I saw the Battle Lab field that was out there. Manager's super cool. Everyone's chill. It seemed like the average player base was in their late 20s, early 30s, so it seemed pretty chill. So I'll have a little bit of beer along the way through the stream. But I appreciate you guys for joining. I see there's like 9 of you. Goddamn. So maybe I just need to do a little bit more scheduled streams. Maybe like later afternoon on Random Wednesday. Seems to be going well for you guys. Okay, so right, you guys are here because of the most recent drama or controversy or whatever you want to call it that just recently happened over the last 2 weeks, and especially the month of May. Seems like there's been more stuff that's been happening this year in general. You got that one guy, Airsoft Samurai, that's been going crazy with the underage minor meetups, and that he allegedly fled to Korea or wherever he fled to. So he hasn't really faced justice for that. But it's always the people on the Milsim side that are always doing the most. And they always hate the speed softers. But I digress. Look. To get to the bottom of it, got my notes. I did want to talk to you guys a little bit about LA Capa and a few other things, my experiences with some other brands, and the whole story. It looks like LA Capa's been kind of doing some weird things with their sponsorship. Now, it's not just solely them. I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt because there are other brands that are just kind of going doing their own sponsorship programs based off verbal agreements, and that's usually on good faith. Now, is it really worth it? I mean, you think about it. You could say that you might get a discount, whatever, and you get all these other benefits. But before I get into that, let me go ahead and just read you what Murder Inc. is upset about, because they are, in my opinion, I feel like they are definitely upset about is just the inconsistencies that we're receiving in the scene. I know it's small, but at least we got to throw each other a bone. It looks like Murder Inc. has been basically a walking billboard for LA Capa, and it doesn't appear that they're doing their end of the bargain. So we're going to get into a little bit. Looks like they made a post on Instagram, which I will provide a link in the description below, but I'm pretty much just going to briefly go over their story, and it's about their experience working with LA Capa sponsorship. But this is strictly about the sponsorship business, the side of everything. This doesn't have to pertain to anything about their QC or any other controversies that people have against the brand itself. This is just solely about the sponsorship. So before we begin, again, if you're just joining, we're about to get into the story right now. So LA Capa, so if some of you guys don't know, looks like Murder Inc. made a post about a week ago. In November of 2023, Murder Inc. decided to partner with LA Capa to bring them on as a sponsorship. Okay, so that was just recent. LA Capa promised us monetary towards travel expenses, which would be a huge help. Due to the seasons coming toward an end of the team, didn't need much help because we didn't have those, events to travel to, which is understandable. I've been on that side of the bargain with Team Asylum, and we didn't really use much. It typically rolled over. Unfortunately, when the 2024 season came around, LA Capa fell very short in delivering on our promises they made. Now, LA Capa did not pay up front. Instead, they told us to send them receipts of expenses and we would be reimbursed. So when we inquired about being reimbursed for travel fees, etc., over a span of 3 months, we got left hanging. And after trying month after month, we were left with vague responses multiple times. One of the answers we got was, all teams are waiting right now, just different priorities for the time being. Due to the fact that LA Kappa decided to sponsor so many teams that they paid the price for it for not being able to keep up with it. Now, I think there was a recent purge that LA Kappa did without notifying a bunch of people, a bunch of teams. So the only people that they kept were specific teams, like I believe Murder Inc., maybe Tacos. I don't know if anybody that works or is sponsored by LA Kappa, like a sole person or whatever, content creator. Please correct me where I'm wrong, because I want to find out what the hell is going on, because it seems like everyone knows LA Kappa bit off more than they can chew. They sponsor everyone and their mama, but you got to see it. Is it even worth the sponsorship? Because they were trying to get me in the very beginning, and I've known a few people who are already sponsored by them, but it seemed like everyone was getting different benefits. Like some people were getting barely 2%. Some people were getting 5%. And then people who were more notarized, they were getting like barely 8 or 10%. When LA Kappa approached me in the beginning, they were going to offer me like 10 to 15, depending on what I was. And I think I was like barely at over 1,000 subscribers by then. This was like 4 years ago. But going back to the story, I'm going to get back to that in a bit. But going back to the story, LA Kappa expressed that teams were taking advantage of the company, which is understandable because they decided to sponsor more teams than they can handle, which was a poor business move. Murder Inc. reached out to LA Kappa to ensure that Murder Inc. was not a team that LA Kappa thought was taking advantage of the LA Kappa sponsorship. So they advised us that Murder Inc. was good. So LA Kappa made a statement saying that they were going to restructure their sponsorship program. Oh, looks like they already did this and history is just repeating itself. What's up, guys? Due to Murder Inc. being such an active team, we couldn't wait around any longer, hoping that LA Kappa would help. We just had to keep it moving, and fast forward to April 24th, LA Kappa sent out an email about their restructured sponsorship program, which stated that they would offer, or what they would offer. April 28th of 2024, Murder Inc. takes first place in the NSL event at Extreme Airsoft. So just to kind of recap, the NSL East Coast Division, they won one of the events there, first place, podium. On that same day, LA Kappa reached out to us, congratulating us and asking this: let us know if you guys want to continue the sponsorship for 2024. So we can get your fees paid out. During this conversation, we decided as a team to continue into 2024 season because we believe that LA Kappa had now restructured the sponsorship program and was ready to make this work. LA Kappa told us, and I quote, "Since you placed first, you'll get 100% of the entry fees covered." That's going to be important. Pay attention. Stay with me now, boys. So LA Kappa making big promises, which we felt like we deserved as a team that has a huge resume. Yeah, fairly huge. I give them that. It's understandable, right? And what's up, guys, to those that are just joining in. As time went on, we reached out to LA Kappa to inquire about being reimbursed for that entry fee. So unfortunately, LA Kappa fell short again on their promise, and we did not receive 100% of our entry fee. Instead, we got a phone call with LA Kappa, which revealed that they were only willing to pay up to $200 and the 100% that they promise. When we expressed our concerns about this issue and how they were wrong for doing this, LA Kappa advised that they would discuss this further with their CEO because they didn't want to lose us as a sponsored team. Now, breaking apart from that, I'm assuming they were conversating with other representatives of LA Kappa, maybe not Sutton himself. Is Sutton the CEO? That's what I would assume, right? But it doesn't seem like they were working directly with Sutton. It looks like they have a different department for that. So, I mean, good on LA Kappa for coming up, but yeah, I mean, good on LA Kappa for doing that, but I mean, you know, they bit off more than they can chew, right? So that's obvious. But going back into it, a week went by without hearing anything, and we did reach out a few times during the 7-day span. We finally received a message from LA Kappa asking us when we would get on a phone call. We had this phone call on May 21st. Or do you mean April 21st? We had this. Oh yeah, okay. I guess it makes sense. Never mind. It was about a week from now. We had this phone call on about May 21st. And as time went on, Okay, so as time went on, we reached out to LA Kappa, inquire about the being reimbursed for that entry fee. Unfortunately, LA Kappa fell short again. I feel like I'm rereading this again. Oh, sorry, my bad. We had this phone call on May 21st, and boy, was it disappointing. A 60-second conversation that could have just been put into a message. LA Kappa advises that the CEO would be only willing to pay us $300 now, and that the email that was sent on April 24th with the restructuring of our sponsorship program was a mistake. Damn. Oh, man. So, you see this? This is just like This is just their concerns, their issues, and their right to do so, right? So they're taking this out on social media now because, hey, like they said, they got a resume. They're a well-known team on the East Coast. Even though there's two different sides to it. There's the Murder Inc. West and there's Murder Inc. East. But when I think of Murder Inc., I just think of bacon when it comes to LA. But when I think of Murder Inc., I also think of the whole East Coast team, right? Anyways, they were right to do this, right? You got screwed over the past few months. Miscommunication. A lot has been going on. And they're upset. They took it to social media, and it looks like everyone and their mama, and me included, were contributing to the comments with their concerns, their experiences, and their gripes about LA Capa as a brand and their sponsorship programs. Now, goddamn, we can see that it looks like Murder Inc. continued with, we want to tell the community about our experiences with working with the LA Capa sponsorship, but before we do, I want to make something extremely clear that this has nothing to do with their parts, builds, and products. Now, why do you think they had to do that? Because everyone knows LA Capa has weird QC, and it takes them at least 2 to 3 generations for them to actually have something fit well. This is not just my experience. I've only had minimal experience with LA Capa parts, but this is also when LA Capa, distribute something, they have a collaboration with something, and they can't really, make good on their products. This is usually the community. The community knows about this. No one calls them out because it seems like it's kind of weird to do. But if you get fucked over, this is understandably right to do so. You got to call them out. You got to do it as you see it. Remember when LA Capa tried to say their marketing budget was given back to the community? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh boy. Okay, I'll get into that in a sec. So going into the comments, it looks like. Oh wait, where am I at here? I don't know why I did that. So going into the comments, it looks like LA Capa tried to do some damage control, and it stated, we gave you guys $1,244 in free parts and tournament entry amounts last year and got $0 in return with affiliate referrals. I fucking hate affiliate referrals. I always tell everyone, if you're doing that, you're not getting shit. And then let's see. We stated that we would give you 100% of the tournament entry to sponsored teams for winning up to $300. Now, I guess this is where the miscommunication arose. This is why you got to start doing contracts. This is why everyone's got to start doing contracts. Verbal agreements based on good faith are never going to work. And you have to realize that too. From what they were saying, if you scroll down in the comments on their post, it looks like Murder Inc. had initially wanted a contract, but it didn't go through. And I think at that point, you got to know there's a bunch of red flags and something is up. You got to dip. You got to dip from that situation entirely. There is no way that whole entire program is going to benefit anybody. Verbal agreements on good faith? Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's wild. Oh, shit. Sorry, I spilled. Weird QC. The QC is piss poor, and I've called them out on it, and they don't care. They're thinking they're perfect. I will kind of say that I haven't had any issues with their Poison DF slide with their Speaky Bee, but I feel like Sapo and Roy were kind of getting on their ass about the fitment and everything, so they had to make it perfect. Anything with the Speaky Bee name has got to be at least representably good. So I haven't had any issues with that one. But, of course, there are other parts like their first name brand short show kits and everything. I've always had issues with that because it doesn't really fit specific parts or whatever. But, again, this is just solely the sponsorship. This is what we're talking about. So that's why everyone's saying this is just solely the sponsorship program itself. But yes, and then I left a comment later. If you're not a huge content creator, then you're a third-rate player to these brands. And that's for real because I have a small following. I get like 16K. I'm not like Valiant. Excuse me. I'm not like Valiant. I'm not like Demo. Those guys are up on the top. Those guys make money. Who's that one guy on the East Coast that does unboxing packages all the time? He makes money. He works with Full Auto Airsoft, my old brand or my old sponsor. I love John. I just couldn't really see myself providing as much as they were providing for me. So I ended that one on good terms. That was my experience. But I know he does for sure pay that one YouTuber. I forgot his name. He unboxes stuff with his wife. But they do everything on good terms. And they get paid a lot. Valiant, I know, works with LA Capa, also has a good contract because when, let's see, Not that I know that what the specifics of the contract, but I know for sure he's getting a contract. Anybody in their right mind who's a top content creator has got to have a good payout from all these brands. When Navrich reached out to me to send me stuff for their SSP5, the sniper, and then the DSG that they just recently gave me, that's it. That's all we worked on. Our agreement was just I would make reviews, which I'm still working on now, and then I would get those out. Valiant reached out to me asking if I gotten any messages because there was like a weird delay late last year between their content creator department and their lack of communication with us. C7 Viper, thank you. And I guess from what Eddie had described to me, he has a contract specifically with LA Capa, or sorry, not LA Capa, but Navrich. So you can definitely work those things out in your favor, get that payout, get that money, right? My experience, it's just been kind of like, hey, give me free stuff. And help me out with some tournaments here and there. And that's it. I don't really need much because I know Airsoft isn't really going to get anywhere yet. It's so in the infant stages, and everyone's got to realize that. But the sponsorship in Airsoft is already a joke, to be honest, and that is correct, Lemon. That is certainly right. So we keep looking through the comments, and everyone's pissed off. Everyone's upset. Kaver says, all I'm saying is I never had this issue with Milson West. Tickets are on sale now of the Colorado game in September and the California game in Victorville. La Caca Customs. Yeah, it seems like that's the kind of common nickname for this brand, unfortunately. LA Crapper strikes again. RGK Airsoft getting in the mix because he already came out with his video, kind of giving us an informal take on a lot of the industry, of course, because he's always out and about on the East Coast. So that was a good video to watch. Project N1, ouch. Even Asylum Mayhem, I know I worked with him for a bit when we were together on Team Asylum, and even when I was on Team Asylum, I remember Sutton from LA Kappa would reach out consistently to Jason. Hey, can you like convince AJ to get on LA Kappa? I know we sponsor you guys as a team, but he works with Blowback Masters, and we want him to produce content for us too. I straight up say, fuck out of here, bruh. No, for real. I've been working with Ben since day one. LA Kappa was so close to picking me up, and I was so ready. And I think this was like when I was 6 months in. This was like a month or two after the shutdown had just stopped. This was like mid 2020. But then they told me they wanted to continue looking at my progress. I was like, all right, whatever. Ben from Blowback Masters comes out of nowhere and sees my potential, and he picks me up right away. And I fucking enjoy every moment of that. I will never leave Ben. That is my homie. And that dude is my ride or die. Yeah, BBM. Be sure to use code Tater for 5% off all your high cap and G series parts. But yes, so I remember Jason says, same with us, a bunch of promises but not coming through. Said we had $500 or something we used, but when I got back to see he had paid for 2 entries totaling $200, I wish we never printed his name on our jerseys, and wish I, as the captain of Asylum Airsoft team, never agreed with doing the sponsorship. See, that's unfortunate. And that's the thing too. It's unfortunate to see where we're at in a community. I mean, everyone can agree that the whole sponsorship side of things, all these brands, all these new startup brands from COVID, post-COVID, really don't offer much to the community. It's all business over community. And that's what I've been telling people. Like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? People that come up to me and ask me those questions, I say, you know what? I'm not going to sway you away from it, but this is my sole opinion. But if you like it, go for it. Honestly. What's up, Damien? I love you guys. The plenty is too much. So that's the story. And that's the story with Murder Inc. You know, they got a big resume, shrugging to the very top of the East Coast, right? But, you know, they are understandably upset with the sponsorship that they received from LA Kappa. You know, like I said, this is just solely the sponsorship side of things, right? And let's see, I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, I mean, honestly, with my experience with AirTac, god damn. You know, it's funny because, like I said before, when Ben picked me up, LA Kappa attempted to pick me up at least a dozen times, and I respectfully declined. Like, hey, I appreciate you guys for coming out. right now I'm really working with Blowback Masters. I like what he's doing for me, but I appreciate you. And I told Ben every time, like, hey, LA Cap is reaching out again, lol. But yeah, you can't really, you can't really occupy yourself with too many sponsors. It's nice, it's a great feeling. You get out there, put on a jersey, you got a bunch of support, and you got all these brands on your jerseys. It's nice, but the more you notice it, the more it's just, like I said, it's a business. Like Monk Customs. Monk Customs is a business. They push out a lot of people, and I think they only gave LA Kappa the sole responsibility in the US to sell Monk products. So that pushed out everyone who was already working with Monk Customs before 2023. Like Adam. Adam worked with Monk Customs for a bit, selling some stuff at Sac County Airsoft, but they couldn't anymore because it looks like they gave that a lot of the product straight to LA Kappa. Their business practices, I talked to was it JT, Ben, and John all at once when I went to EA Fest 2022. Very nice group of guys. Take One Airsoft, Full Auto Airsoft, Blowback Masters. Had a conversation with all three of them, but their entire experience with LA Kappa, unfortunately, seems like they were just ceasing production to be shipped out, ceasing products and everything, so that way it would get delayed to Blowback Masters, Take One, Full Auto, all that stuff. I did, Maddie. You know what I'm talking about, brother. But yeah, and it's unfortunate, right? So you gotta see that all these businesses aren't going to be your friends. They're not really initially going to be there for the community, and it's unfortunate, right? So you got to look at it. You got to look at it from like what is going to benefit you the most. If you take on a sponsorship, you gotta get a contract, hands down. Monopolizing an airsoft is shitty. That's exactly right, Doc. Yeah, I said it. But look, I digress, right? So when I had my experiences with brands, I left on good terms majority of the time, or actually every time I left on good terms. Working with AirTac was great, but my friend Chris Dice, DVS Dice, was one of the first people to get sponsored by AirTac. Hudson was reaching out to me for a little bit, and side note, Amped Airsoft is amazing. But yeah, AirTac was reaching out to me for a bit, like for at least a year, and they wanted me to be, partnered with them. They would send me out stuff or whatever. I agreed that, I agreed to them with that. But the thing was, I wanted them to pay more attention to my friend Chris, because Chris was one of the first sponsors, and it seems like there was lack of communication between him and, of course, the team at AirTac. So I said, hey, I'll work with you, but you got to work with my friend Chris. And so we agreed to that, and maybe like a month or two goes by, everything's fine, and then it seems like Chris was still having the same issues. He was getting, lack of communication. Looks like, certain parts weren't getting shipped or whatever it might have been at that time. I can't remember. But I spoke out to them again, and I told them, like, hey, like, what's up? Like, you guys working with him or what? Like, I can't really continue if you guys don't, work with me, work with him. But ultimately, my friend Chris ended up leaving AirTac because he was just going to be busy with life and school and all that stuff. So it was just like, whatever. And I didn't bring it up ever since, but kind of later toward the end, maybe like last summer, end of the year, I decided to work with him on more videos and stuff. And, it was just interesting to see how fast he wanted everything, which was understandable, right? Again, this there was no contract involved in this. This is just all verbal agreement, whatever. I told him, here's a deadline. Let's try and work on this as much as I can. If something interferes, I'll let you know. And that's exactly what we did. We had that communication, even though it was delayed, whatever, by a few days or a week or whatever, we still tried to get through everything. What I didn't really like toward the end of the sponsorship was the fact that, I had him start paying me more for stuff, which was fine. There was no contract involved with that. It was just like, all right, here, do this and this and that. I got you. Just pay me this because, bro, I'm busy. I got a lot of shit going on, and I got to start, moving shit from my house. I got a lot of family shit going on too. Whatever. He pays me what I paid, and he gave me a little extra. All right, awesome. But when John and Arc Sports sent me the Arc to use and to review, I still got to redo that. Hudson didn't take that very well. They wanted me to be solely on AirTac and AirTac only. So I ended up buying the Article 1 at that time too, and which is right behind me. And with that, it was just he wasn't very happy with that as well. So I had to think like, all right, I need to leave this brand. I've been thinking about it for a minute. Let me just finish out this video, which was the most recent AirTag video that I did, with the pins and the mag release and all that for my most recent build or whatever. I did that, finished that out. He wanted to do a contract with me, keep me working, more videos and everything. I just respectfully declined. I told him, hey, I'm done. I kept it very short and simple because I'm not going to give my whole life story as to why I'm leaving. And, with that, we just left, and I left, and then that was it. He kind of kept bugging me for a bit with some other stuff, like, what brands are you going to? What are you doing this? What are you doing that for? You can't give some of these people the time of day. Like, I'm not going to give you any supposed secrets that I have or tell you what my business is doing, whatever, right? Look, AirTag is a great brand, but it seems like, even he told me, they want to follow in the footsteps of LA Capa. And I said, you got to be very careful with that, because what you see with LA Capa, they're biting off more than they can chew, and it's going to bite them in the ass in the end. And it seems like it's already starting to trickle down. You got more people calling him out. You got Murder Inc. calling him out, which is one of the most notarized teams in the East Coast. And you got other people supporting those ideas in the comments. And more people are coming out with, stories and ideas. Yeah, dude, they're all kids. Zombie, they're all kids. That's all it is, which is fine, we have to realize, like, we can't work with these people like we expect them to be professional. I think Sutton and Hudson, they always look the same to me. They're like 20 to 22 years old, something of that range. Bro, I'm 32. I don't have time for that bullshit. Look, but that's my experience, right? You go back to LA Kappa. Right, I got you. Look, always have a contract ready. Always have a plan ready. If something doesn't work, have a goal for yourself, basically. And if, something doesn't work, doesn't reach out to that goal or whatever, you got to split. You got to get the hell out of there. And it's interesting because, these are my gripes. These are my gripes. And people in the NorCal community have had their gripes with other brands. Monk Customs. I don't even know who's sponsored by Monk Customs anymore, but of course their business practices, right? Everyone knows about Monk Customs. You don't want to buy anything from Monk Customs because, one, they're too expensive, and two, they don't have support in the United States. Everyone and their mama in Europe, says they're great. Okay, yeah, they're great. But in Europe, you guys have more support. You guys have stores you can walk into. But where can we go as a player? Like, if I wanted to go into like a store, Airsoft store, like, what Monk Customs parts are they going to be? It's not going to be the whole catalog, unfortunately. It's going to be whatever pre-builds that they're going to have, and maybe just some stuff that they've made themselves. I'm not buying a $2,000 Airsoft rifle, HPA rifle, for competition play. No, you can do the same thing for about $800 to $1,000 and still get the same results. And it seems like with the lack of support, they don't want our money, or they don't want to deal with it. Whatever they got going on, I don't know, and I don't care, because I don't want to deal with it. Everybody knows that. If you're a new person, I'm going to tell you, try to avoid Monk Customs, but if you want it, just watch out for this and that, XYZ. That's it. And just expect it. It's kind of like you buy a Volkswagen, but you're going to have to fucking pay up the ass for parts because it's so expensive to fucking get fixed. Yeah, they're a business, but community first, right? Yes, they are a business, and it's community first. Always, 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 always. You got to make sure that they support the community and make sure that's what they're all about. Because if they're not, they're going to be kind of greedy in the end. It's whatever. Enlighten me. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I will. This ain't no hate, bro, but in 2022 in the East Coast EA Fest, my experience with some of your players, god damn, I should have just fucking overshot you guys in the head like nobody's business, for real. Because I could take out like at least 3 or 4 of your guys, and it was nothing. Look, I'm not trying to throw no shade, but this is my experience, all right? And just seeing other videos and playing with you guys, like, all right, cool, you guys get your money, you guys win, that's all good, you do that. But you can't deny that when it comes to shrugging, everyone thinks of you guys. Everyone thinks of other teams. You got East Coast Energy. I'm not saying it's solely you guys. I'm saying it's East Coast Energy. I'm saying it is whoever is the top of the top of the top on the East Coast. So don't take it personally, because I could care less of what you guys think. It's fine. It's whatever. But that's literally legitimately what it is. In the East Coast, you guys have you guys and a few others. On our side, we have what, like Sean from ATBH. Everyone knows he shrugs. Sorry, Sean, I love you. We got Kill Shop Mafia. We got Tacos. We got DVS. They shrug. Yes. I will personally say I will shrug if you shrug the most. I have a video of me shooting Mini already. I snapshotted him at least 2 or 3 times, and then he starts shooting my way. I'm like, oh, okay. And I start just beaming him. We're beaming each other for 10 seconds. We get off the fucking stage or the field. That's it. You don't take it seriously. But if you're going to fucking shrug, I'm going to keep coming at you guys back. That's for everybody. Sorry, I digress. But, brother, out of all the tank grips you use, which one do you feel like has the best feeling all around that didn't break? Honestly, it's whatever aluminum grips that are pretty good. The Vendetta grip is good, but it's got less space. What are those grips from Mac? Mac Customs has made some really good grips. So, I mean, if I were you guys, I'd check that out too. Monk does not listen to the community, so there's so many problems. Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you're asking about grips, yeah, I guess they did their grip pretty okay, because you can detach it, use it for like a custom rifle, IGL line, whatever. But, yeah, man, LA Capa has got some weird business practices I think you guys should try to kind of avoid as, best you can. If you're really serious about getting into any sponsorships, LA Capa, Monk Customs, AirTac, they all kind of have the same business practices. I mean, they could potentially change. I don't know. I haven't really messed with them enough to know what they are planning to do about it now in 2024, like the later half. But it's interesting to see, because you got this new community, the Speedsoft community, that's already playing more competitively, and it's still in its infant stages. And this is why I bring up shrugging, because you got refs that aren't really paying attention, or it's field bias, kind of like with SIG, right? Because I saw that when Murder Inc. West, when they played their asses off, but I saw some of those things from SYG and that 2023 championship SpeedQB event. But like I said, why take it personally? It's just Airsoft. It's cool. Everybody shrugs, but Murder Inc. West really did a good job. But you gotta look at everything, right? You gotta look at everything, make a goal for yourself, and then just, stick with that. Have fun. That's what I think a lot of people forget. People get so ego tripped. People ego tripping all the time. People think they're pro. Let me tell you guys one thing real quick. There's no such thing as a pro airsofter. I don't care what anybody says, what content creator makes it up on their videos for clickbait. I could care less about what they think. The sole matter is there's no such thing as an airsoft pro, and that's a fact. There aren't any real companies that are bringing up all of these events, really. I mean, yeah, little by little you got NSL, but what is the deal with that too? They are so screwing you guys for fees, and then they're gonna up the price again next year. It's already $700-800. What the fuck's up with that? Anyways, this is how ridiculous it is. Everyone's just, business over community. So you just gotta know what you want to do. If you're asking me, my favorite events, of course, are SpeedQB, CSL, Syndicate. Those are the ones I've played. Those are the ones I love. And I would hope they end up growing more. Shout out to Roy. Shout out to Keegan. Shout out to everyone that's actually making it happen. Now, there's a reason why NSL is only down to 2 fields. Because there's a conflict of interest, and then now HK Armory is not working with them anymore. I don't know what the deal with that is, but it's business that gets in the way. And so you get shit that degrades over time, and this is what you get. The 2023 NSL season only working at 2 fields. Yeah. So if I wanted to become sponsored player, who should I be asking to sponsor me? And HSA Doc says, Volt, let the sponsors come to you. Put in the work, prove yourself on the field, and build relationships first. Last thing you want to do is get sponsored by someone and run into, an LA Capa problem. And that is the truth. You got to try and be careful, take care of yourself, and, just have fun with it. Like for me, it was the content creation, right? I make videos, go out there, play, just take care of what I can majority of the time, and then I'll just go from there. But you really got to be careful. And like I said, have fun with it. If you stop having fun, that's when you got to stop. You got to stop and reflect and see what you're doing with yourself. But yes, following the drama with the LA Kappa situation, they didn't follow up. They didn't pursue anything further with that post. It looks like they did put a little bit more information, but a lot of people weren't taking that seriously. So they went ahead and put up their own. Put up their own stories, saying again that they would restructure their sponsorship program for 2023. That they were going to speaking to one of their lawyers, whatever that means, and I guess they're going to get stuff settled correctly. So it looks like they yeah. See, so that's the other thing too. I miss this. Yeah, I miss it too, bro. I miss it too. And to be honest, I'm not sponsored, but if a company does good things, I have their product and I might drop their name. However, I like to run what I want, however I want. That is true. Do what makes you happy, honestly. Don't fall for all these new brands that come out. Yeah, it's cool. Like, it looks shiny, but in any hobby, you don't want to pre-order something and then just get something that's going to end up being broken. That was my dumbass mistake when I pre-ordered the ESG Gen 1. That 3D printed piece of shit. God damn. But, yeah, so the LA Kappa drama, damn, that sucks. But it looks like Tristan came in the mix. Tristan Airsoft came in the mix and came up with his own memes. Oh, I appreciate that on the Spectrum Filipino so much. He's so awesome. But look at that. He came out with his own thing. Damn. And he even came up with this clown card. Certified clowning credentials. Sheesh. That's wild. And he put his picture up on there. Louisiana, huh? Is LA Kappa? I don't think Sutton's from LA. Is it Louisiana Kappa? Kaka. Is it Louisiana Kappa or is it LA Kappa? I don't even know anymore. Everyone says LA Kappa, but is it LA Kappa? I mean, that's what I thought too. But yeah, I mean, tell me what you guys think of this because this is wild. I mean, fuck. This dude was getting clowned on for a good minute. He had a video. You see, he has some videos up there he made. Yeah, good on you guys. Good on the community. We got to call it out as we see it, and we got to really just, make sure LA is Louisiana. God damn it. Jesus Christ. Trinity build from Vinci is fire. Oh yeah, I've seen Vinci's coming up. Yeah, like I said, whatever works for you guys, whatever you feel like, because I honestly stopped paying attention because of dealing with all these brands. I'm exhausted. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Like I said, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm just fucking just chilling and just like, what? It's not Los Angeles. Wow, I'm a fucking retard. Yeah, so it is Louisiana. Good to know. God damn it. But anyways, I'm exhausted. I try not to work with these brands too much. The only ones that I mess with are the ones that are actually genuine. ARC, of course, Bullback Masters, and then of course Nepro. I'm working with Nepro, even though I haven't really put out too many videos. I'm sorry, boys. I'll get to it. I'll get to that eventually. I've just been really busy with family and I haven't had the opportunity to. But cheers to that. If you guys have any concerns, feel free to mention that in this Discourse right now. Tell me if you have any concerns with any brands right now in the chat. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Just Rice says, I remember when our team dealt with the sponsorship changes that LA Kappa Customs did. How did that affect you guys entirely? Did they discontinue your sponsorship or did they move around some things? It sucks because our team had a lot of outside responsibilities, so we couldn't keep up with their content demands. That's right. I remember Sutton was demanding stuff when I was on Team Asylum for a bit. They were demanding at least a video or 2 videos every month, and they were demanding it from our team, my teammate Raven at the time, because he was gonna do some of the content stuff for that. We didn't really get too much out of the sponsorship. We really didn't need it because we didn't really travel. We didn't do too much as a team. So it really didn't bug us in the end. Oh my God. But I hope, yeah, fucking A, man. It's like, and it kind of raises the idea, like, do you want to get sponsored by at all in Airsoft? And if so, do you want to get sponsored by something that's not related to Airsoft? Like a coffee company or something that everyone gets, sponsored by is G Fuel for whatever fucking reason. Now, as a content creator, if you guys are going to get into content creation and if you guys work with sponsors or other brands, I I can't believe it took me up until last year to figure this shit out. But I've seen what Demo does. I don't think he's really tied to anything. Now, Demo in particular, because of how big he is up there in the content creation space for Airsoft, especially for the speed soft community, the competition side of things, he gets to work with whoever wants to work with him, right? And he does it well. He puts himself out there. He raises awareness, and everyone loves him in the community. It's fucking awesome, right? But I don't think he's tied to anything. So it got me thinking, like, well, I'm already doing this. I already have a decent following as a content creator. Might as well not have any sponsors because it's not really worth it, because I'm already, working with these other brands to, just kind of review their stuff and just be up there. I'm trying to get, the way I see it is Blowback Masters and Nepro are the only ones that I work with because they've been with me since day one. Nepro, if you don't know who that is, they're pretty much half of the CHILLSOFT guys from Spain. And they're really nice. They're really chill. They make really good quality products. That's just me. Also use code Fernie for 5 or 10% off on Nepro for a nice belt or maybe some other gear. Very good. Very nice. Debo has an open contract. He basically gets all the benefits without cons. Yeah. And I think that's the way to go. Because for sure I know Valiant makes money from LA Capa. And that also kind of like, I didn't expect this from them, from Valiant or Demo, or anybody else like that's higher up in the content creation space. I didn't expect them to reply to all this drama. It's not their responsibility. They work with them. I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of is because maybe Valiant. I haven't really seen Demo like going out of his way to be like, yeah, just use code Demo. I haven't really seen him do that. Maybe Valiant. Maybe he's got to be careful with that. But I mean, it's no secret. Everyone knows, their quality is kind of caca. But I mean, if they're getting a good check, I guess they can just kind of get away with it. I don't know. Is that morally right? I'm trying to get a beer or dispensary sponsorship. Everything else can sit down and stay quiet. And that's the way to go, Caber. That is the way to go. A couple of teams here in Australia are sponsored by energy companies. There you go. You can do whatever you can to kind of get you guys, your foot in the door. Do whatever you got to do. Not really necessarily get your foot in the door, but kind of help you support, your funding along the way. Would be nice. I just wish we had more product in gel ball. Yes, Aussie here, like you guys do in Airsoft. I mean, we got a decent amount. It seems like everything's kind of spread out. Like some of our stuff that we get is in Taiwan. Some of the stuff we get is from Europe. And of course, we got our stuff out here. Like the Euro grip. Where did that come from? The Netherlands, right? From OG Euro Tactics. And we got that from them. And then carbon uppers, of course, were from AirTac, who was based from here. But then you got the ARC, which is based in Taiwan. And then, we got a lot of good stuff. It's kind of all international. But yes, enough with the LA Capa drama. One more thing before I end this stream is the small little drama that's been going on over the past few days or up to a week. It looks like Airsoft ATL went ahead and uploaded the cease and desist letter from the brand or from the SS Airsoft field. And it's stating here that in connection with matters surrounding the employment of so-and-so, so it looks like it's blanked out. So my understanding is that Airsoft ATL has an employee that used to work at SS Airsoft. So this is their cease and desist, who resigned his employment with my client on April 26, 2024, and immediately began working for your company. As you may or may not be aware, Mr. Redacted executed a non-competition agreement confidentially and non-solicitation agreement on March 9, 2023 with SS Airsoft. Here after the agreement. So you're probably asking yourself, like, what is a non-compete agreement? In the state of Georgia, agreements are generally enforceable. I had to look this shit up, so sue me. In Georgia, if they are responsible in scope, duration, and geographic area, the agreements must protect the employer's legitimate business interests, such as trade secrets or confidential information, and cannot be overly broad in restrictions. So, in the comments, you can kind of see, I think it kind of hints that this guy that's redacted here was a tech that worked at SS Airsoft. I could be wrong, correct me. But, thank you. SS Airsoft no longer a field. I guess they've had a lot of controversy themselves over the past decade, because you can see people are just chiming in saying like, oh, SS Airsoft is still at it again, huh? After all these years, I've stopped airsofting, and so we still got to deal with this bullshit. But good on Airsoft Atlanta for calling them out, because, what is this? And it looks like the FTC is removing non-compete agreements. It looks like beginning September. I think they already voted for that. On April 23rd, 2024, the Federal Trade Commission voted to ban non-compete agreements for all workers in the United States, including those in Georgia, with some expectations. Now, this rule will take effect in 120 days after it's published, so in September 2024. Interesting. The rule will prohibit employers from entering into new NCAs and make existing ones unenforceable, with the exception of senior executives. Okay, so it looks like at this point, it just doesn't seem it's going to be valid in the next few months. But for those that are just joining to get the gist of it, the agreement. So yeah, it's like, why is everyone mad at SS when this dude signed the agreement, broke the agreement, and got mad? That's just silly. I'm not too informed about these type of agreements. It seems like, based on what I gathered, people were just upset for the fact that it was enforced. It's not something that a lot of people would enforce, and it's just it's the demeanor of the owner himself, I guess, that rubs people the wrong way. Whatever he's been doing for the past decade, people were still up in arms about this, and now this is just kind of like the nail in the coffin type thing. Either way, it's causing some drama, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do anything further. Airsoft Atlanta went ahead and made more memes. They're pulling interest in Airsoft, and it seems like they're doing more memes about it. So it looks like they're in good spirits and not too worried about it. Other people are chiming in about the issue, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next few months. Airsoft is just fucking ridiculous, man. You can never really do one thing without somebody hating on it, or just someone just being completely retarded in another space. People without a business understanding are mad at this. Also, what happened to that one Sac County back team? What's up, Scars? Have a good one, brother. What happened to that one Sac County back team? Like SCA? I don't even know what happened with SCA. Bro, I've been out of the game because of how much unnecessary drama there's been in the speed soft scene. Like, ridiculous. Leave your feelings at the field, honestly. When I bought Predator Paintball, we had the previous owner sign a non-compete within 50 miles of us. So I guess I'm trying to understand, like, how it's an agreement, right? Of course it's going to be legitimate, but like, how much legal trouble can they get into? What are the repercussions of this? Like, what can they follow up? What can Airsoft Atlanta do at this point? I mean, it doesn't seem like they're taking it seriously. So whatever they got going on in Georgia doesn't seem like it's going to scare them, even on the legality standpoint of it. One of my NorCal buddies left Savage for SCA, Matthew. Yeah, SCA is no longer a thing, I don't think. They did that for the last season. I think that was just more of a temporary team mixed with a mixture of other teams like, what was it? DVS, some Savage, and then some of the guys from Killshot. GA Airsoft is a joke. That's what I keep hearing too. A lot of people on the Georgia side don't really like the Airsoft out there too much. I guess that's what we all have to be thankful for. If you have a really decent field, like if you go on the East Coast and you go to Extreme Airsoft all the time, or if you're in the SoCal area, you go to Project N1. Project N1 is one of the best fields I've ever been to. Or if you go to Vegas, Vegas has got their Battle Lab field, which I had the opportunity to check out, which is super, 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 super nice. And the manager there is nice. I think he goes back and forth between that field and the Ontario field in SoCal. But yeah, it's super cool. Are we getting any Helldivers gameplay? No, not today, brother, because I'm just going over all the cheese man that's been happening. You know, yeah, man, Airsoft is such on the spectrum, so fucking hard. I can never understand like why people are acting a certain way, or why certain things matter so much to people. Atlanta isn't usually liable, but the employee could be sued for money pending the details of the agreement. Now, the dude that is receiving the cease and desist openly shit talks every retailer in Georgia and states he is the best tech in the entire state. Ooh, that's good cheese, man. Yeah, then so I mean, if that's the case, then it's not really it's, you really don't take that seriously then. Yeah. N1 was where you can chill, but also be competitive. And that's what I like about N1. In Battle Lab Vegas, I heard that they're going to they're going to lower, wait, what? They're going to HP on this PQB field in the future. Wow. Yeah. So, so that's the thing. So at Battle Lab, I didn't really mind it too much because I could really care less because I have, every platform imaginable. So if I ever were to pop back into Battle Lab, I could just bring out whatever I need that's, specific to that field. I did speak with the manager. He did inform me that HP is not allowed, but only on the rec field. They do chrono, all gas blowbacks, and of course AEGs, any other platform that is not HPA. So you wouldn't be able to use that. I think the field is nice. It's kind of like a nice copy of the rec field from Extreme Airsoft, where it's dimly lit. You got a lot of barriers inside, buildings or whatever. Tac City is a daycare. Yeah, it is. It really is, because the refs are just on one all the time. No matter what. You could be a dad with your son. You could be a kid just running around or whatever. You could just be a weekend warrior, whatever it might be. It seems like they always got something going on, a gripe. I think you overshoot or whatever with a fucking ridiculous low amount of fucking blanking out. But anyways, yeah, no, they're always on one. Battle Lab does not allow HP on the rec field, but they will allow it on the SpeakyB field. And the SpeakyB field, I think right now, I saw a little bit. I had some videos of it I posted on my story. But no, it was nice. When I went to Vegas, so outside of Airsoft, what have you been to? Damn, bro. So I actually went to EDC about a week and a half ago. Shit was so nice. The weather wasn't too bad. The only thing that sucked was probably day one, where it was kind of hot on that Friday. Getting on the shuttle, it was extremely hot. Just being in that shuttle for an hour, no airflow whatsoever. Just sweating my balls off. It was great. And then we would leave maybe like at 3 or 4 in the morning every night from the venue, even though it lasted till even if it lasted up until 6 in the morning. But EDC was dope. If you guys ever get into raves or whatever, I think EDC is worth the try, or at least worth the trip. It's expensive. It's getting more expensive each year, and we already booked our tickets in our hotel for next year too, literally just a few days ago. AJ been getting the glizzies 2 every night, dude. Oh man, when I went to Fanime recently, that was like an anime convention in San Jose. I only go for the glizzies, bro. You know me. An old friend of mine went to EDC. He's a huge rave guy. Yeah, my girlfriend wanted to go at least one time. She loved it. She got like, not FOMO, post-rave depression or whatever it's called, that silly shit. So we ended up booking for next year, which has been pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys for joining. Really, I really do. Because these, honestly, like, all this has been in my mind for like quite some time. And all this drama within LA Capa has been talked about for like a long time. Yeah, all the drama with LA Capa and some other brands have been talked about for a long time. And I think the main two have been Monk Customs, of course, and LA Capa. And I really want to do a video about this, kind of like, trying to introduce people who are still new to Airsoft or who are thinking about it, if Airsoft sponsorships are worth it. And I really want to get down to nitty gritty. So instead of just being all over the place on the stream, just kind of get down to bullet points of like the pros and cons, and then, advice and stuff like that for newcomers. So I do want to make a video at least on this at some point. Let's see. I remember the first time he did ecstasy, he was texting me about the love for 2 hours. It was 1 a.m. Don't do drugs, kids. I don't do drugs. Anyways. Oh shit, sorry, I keep hitting the desk. I will say real quick, when I went to EDC, I snuck in a few beers with the SpeakyB backpack, which has been super, super nice because they don't really check. SpeakyB backpacks typically have like a few pockets inside. So I just had my water pack in there, and I had like some other stuff, like a fan, my wallet, my phone, my keys, whatever. And it was just kind of like a side, and it was just nice. I got through every day. No one found my beer, nothing. It was the best. But yeah, no, I think it's important we should have this discourse because, again, like, literally, this is, Oh, here we go. My dogs are going off again. Of course, if you guys have any questions or concerns, I'm just kind of blabbering here. We got more wild stories to tell about how management and the owner try to screw us over. Yeah, I should hit up. You should help any former tech employee, dude. I wanna have. Now that I have a little bit more time, I want to have this opportunity to establish a podcast where I can just bring on people, that used to work at certain fields, people who are in the industry, players, just to get everyone's perspective, because everyone's got opinions. And especially now that you have everyone chiming into the recent drama in the LA Capa post, people are talking about it. Even though it's not called out on social media, everyone's got opinions. Everyone's got the cheese, man. The controversy with SS is nothing really crazy. It was just an agreement that seemed like it's not being taken serious by Airsoft Atlanta because they have one of their former employees that works with them now. That's pretty much the gist of it. But the FTC had already stopped non-competes to be validated, and that's going to take effect into September of this year. So I think something with Georgia, I don't know. I don't understand it, to be honest. Call the podcast BB Munchers. High key goated idea. Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe I should have a competition. Maybe I should have a competition. How about this? Maybe I should have like a small competition. Whoever can come up with the best name for a new podcast. Caber, yes, we already talked about this. I'll get you on the podcast. Now, maybe I can have whoever can come up with the best name. I will gift them a new T238 tracer. Ooh. And of course some BBs or whatever and PP toucher. So, but maybe I could do that later. I don't know. I got like a bunch of extra stuff that I have. I just want to downsize so much. I don't need it right now. I gotta start being crappy so people can talk about me more. Caber, okay, guys? What's the deal with Caber? That guy, he's just so fucking happy all the time. I can't stand it. He's so wholesome and just so supportive. What is the deal with that? I just brother. No, Caber, you're great. You're awesome. No, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, thank you guys. I think I'm just gonna close it here. Where are we at now? We are at, right at the hour mark, pretty much 58 minutes and 27 seconds. I really do appreciate you guys for coming up on the stream. We had a whole 30 people at one point listening into the Cheeseman. Again, props to Murder Inc. for calling out all the bullshit. We'll see what happens in the future with LA Capa. Maybe other brands might take notice and start following in the footsteps and try to, correct their stuff over time, but who knows? For now, protect you and yourself, have a goal for yourself, and just watch out. Talk with other people in the community within the Sweet Soft scene because more than half the time, they'll know what's up. Please. And avoid Reddit at all costs. It's a complete echo chamber. You'll never get direct answers there. Trust. What about the new engine in your old ESG? Any updates? I'm still working on that, so don't worry. I'll get to that when I get a chance. Because, like I said, I still got a whole backlog of videos that I still got to make and everything. So once I get there, I'll get there. Don't worry, brother. But yes, take care of yourself. Take care of your team. Know your worth. Know your worth. Know your value. Because more than half the time, these sponsorships aren't going to be worth shit. If they're not giving you a budget, if they're not following through with anything, if there is no contract, dip. It's not worth it. All right, boys. All right. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me, leave a comment in the bottom of the stream or whatever when it does appear back onto the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. And I'll probably do that in about another week or two.